dignitaries on the days, of the days, my dear colleagues, dear students. Why should I speak in English? Let me recollect a day 50 years back. It's 1974, March. I was here like you, sitting there in the same college. Yeah, 50 years back. I was doing my first MA English. I'm happy that I'm invited again after 50 years to the same college. I remember one of my teachers here, Professor Rangachari, and his wife, Professor Sulochana Rangachari. I took my lessons from them. I still recollect, wherever I go, the legacy that Professor Chari left with me is, I think, the sound thick, thin, thought. He taught me the sound here. So I wanted to give it back to you through English. I had some time at Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages, Hyderabad. Now it's called English and Foreign Languages University. I was there for 3 years. Then I took it as a challenge to talk to students always in English. I was not educated in any English medium, but then I wanted to talk to the students. Even in this team, wherever I go, I wanted to talk to them in English. But unfortunately, the students did not welcome my speaking in English, but I'm happy that you are listening to me. Are you listening to me? That's wonderful. Yeah, that gives me another impetus. And Mr. Albert has promised that I'll be talking to you in English. Yeah, that's another reason. Yeah, about the competitive examinations. English is not that difficult. Yes, whatever you learn today, in the first year, in the second year, in the third year, if you're an English major student, first year, second year, if you're other major students, and English is not that difficult because you have everything taught. Everything's taught. From the types of questions, you are taught to answer, identify the following. Yeah. Select from the following. Supply in the blanks. Manipulate, change the degree of comparison. Shuffling words, sentences. Create. You're asked to create, you're asked to write composition in the classroom. Evaluate. You are evaluating. Then you critically question. All these things are the types of questions are there in English and not more than that, except comprehension. In comprehension, you have two types of questions. Number one, factual. Number two, inferential. Easy to follow. Thing is, you'll have to decide. You should have a goal. You should be smart. Why should I say smart here? You know why? If you are fixing the goal, it should be specific. It's not like, yes, let me attempt, let me even fail, let me pass, whatever happens. No, that's not it. You should be specific about it. If you are registered for group 4, though English is not in the subject, decide. Okay. So it should be, the goal should be specific. Then the goal should be measurable. Measurable. You should be able to measure what you are going to perform. It should be achievable. Not anything that cannot be achieved. It should be achievable. It should be relevant. Whatever you read, whatever you practice, whatever you aim at, whatever your goal is, it should be relevant. It should be time bound. S-M-A-R-T. Those who have notebooks and pens, note down. S-M-A-R-T. Smart. Specific. Measurable. Achievable. Relevant. Time bound. Okay. I have a goal set before me. What do I do then? You desire to become an IAS officer. You should desire. Then you should decide upon it. Decide that I am going to become an IAS officer. You determine unwaveringly, you determine, this is my aim, this is my goal. I'll become an IAS officer. Then devote whole of your time. Devote. Dedicate whatever time is available with you. Dedicate. Then develop the art of reading, develop the art of writing, develop the art of practicing. Okay, clear? Then what do? Then discipline yourself. Discipline. Then deploy. If you have more work to do, you deploy the work to your friends. Take the help of your friends through group study. Then, what do? You demand a position. D. All these. Easy to remember. Easy to remember. Okay. That's it. Now, in 1992, World Health Organization, it directed that all the youth should be trained on 10 different topics. You know what? One of you? 10 topics? It's very familiar to you. What is that? Problem solving. Number 1. You should know how to solve the problem. If you are the cause of the problem, you'll have to give in. If your opponent is the cause of the problem, try to influence her to give in. Suppose I am short. I can't become tall hereafter. I am 72 already. What do then? That's a problem. That's no man's problem. You will have to adjust with it. See, the way to solve the problem, there are 3 types. One is a subjective problem. Another is subjective problem. Number 3 is no man's problem. Number 2, decision making. How do you decide? How do you decide? You take all the convenient points. You take the congenial atmosphere. You take the people along with you who are positive. That's the way you decide upon your community and the atmosphere that you are going to live in. Effective communication. Am I effective? Is my communication effective? Tell me. Yes. Effective communication means what? It should be, every syllable should be clear. You need not be fast in talking English. It need not be fast. It should be understood. Supposing I say determine, second syllable stress. If I say develop, second syllable stress, maybe you understand, because this is a very good college. I mean, in terms of prosachari, I'm talking about it. So you are taught very good English. And I could see a professor who doesn't belong to the Department of English talking very good English. Kai thara matingla? Yes, again, on the 10 topics, number 1, problem solving. Number 2, decision making. Number 3, effective communication. Number 4, interpersonal relationship. Interpersonal relationship. How do you behave inside the classroom? How do you treat your friend sitting by your side? How do you behave with your parents? So interpersonal relationship is very important. Then number 5, self-knowledge. You should know what you are capable of. You should not underestimate you. You should not underestimate you. You should love yourself. You should know who you are. You should know what you can do. You should know about your strengths and weaknesses. Okay. Then, number 6, empathy. Empathy, you know the meaning of it? Empathy means putting yourself in another's place and either complete or continue. When I am talking here, supposing I find some students not interested, I should know that they are not interested. Then I should close down my speech. That's called empathy. If empathy rules mankind, what happens? If empathy rules mankind, in the morning we are talking to the SP of this district, and his father was sitting beside him. Sir, there is no rest for him. Everywhere, all people fighting with each other. If empathy prevails, there won't be any criminal activity. That's it. Then you have critical thinking. Number 7, critical thinking. And when you look at the stage, when you listen to people talking to you, when you understand, though it's a holiday, you are asked to come here, and you have come here, if you think critically upon it, then you'll understand there is a purpose behind it. You are critically analyzing the problem. Then creative thinking. How do you create? Creativity is part of a human's life and ability. Yes. Then, coping with stress. Number 9, coping with stress. Coping with stress. Everybody is under stress now because of the smartphone. Everything, you expect some message, it doesn't appear. A different message appears. You expect somebody to talk to you. He doesn't talk to you. Somebody else talks to you. So, stress, coping with stress, and coping with emotions. The best and the worst part of emotion is anger. You become easily angry. When whatever you expect doesn't happen, you become angry, and yes, 10 over? 10 over? No? Problem solving, decision making, effective communication, interpersonal relationship, self-awareness, empathy, critical thinking, creative thinking, coping with stress, coping with emotions. And if you are thorough, with these topics and lessons, you will understand who you are. You'll understand where you live. You'll understand how you behave. You'll understand your capacity. You'll understand what you are going to achieve. You'll understand how you should prepare yourselves to pass the competitive examinations. All right? Okay. From Shakespeare, and I'll complete with that. Hamlet, have you ever read Hamlet? Raise your hands. Hamlet, you've heard of Hamlet, okay. There is one soliloquy. To be or not to be? To be or not to be, that's the question. Whether to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, whether to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. So, you'll have to decide and you'll have to act upon it. Yes? And here Thomas Gray, elegy written in a country churchyard. Full many a gem of purest ray serene. Full many a gem of purest ray serene. The dark unfathomed caves of ocean bare. The dark unfathomed caves of ocean bare. Full many a flower is born to blush unseen. Full many a flower is born to blush unseen and waste its sweetness on the desert air. So, you should blossom. You should make your life blossom. When you prepare yourselves for the competitive examinations, English is not that difficult. It's easy. It will listen to you. English will listen to you. English will come to you. English help you. Otherwise, I'll help you. All the best. Thank you for the opportunity.
வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்தா லைக் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க, கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க, பெல் ஐக்கன் பிரஸ் பண்ண மறந்து போயிடாதீங்க. அப்பதான் நாங்க போஸ்ட் பண்ற வீடியோவோட நோட்டிஃபிகேஷன் உங்களுக்கு வரும்.